हरे कृष्णा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी वरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चाद्देशकारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय वैष्णव परमहंस परिवराचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय हो। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। मेरा आइडियल वीडियो आवाज आ रहा है क्लियर? उत्कर्ष बोलने, मेरा आइडियो वीडियो क्लियर आ रहा है कि नहीं? ज्वाइन कीजिए। हरे कृष्ण आ रही है क्लियर प्रभु जी? ओके ठीक है। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम ओके ठीक है, धन्यवाद। सो ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्य उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः, गोविन्दाय नमो नमः, गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा। So, welcome to all of you in our Srimad Bhagavatam session, and we are discussing from Canto-6th, Chapter-02, entitled Ajamila delivered by Vishnuduttas. So those who invited your friends, you can call them and tell them the class has started now and they can join. आप में से जिन लोगों ने अपने मित्रों को बोला है इनको कॉल कर दीजिए, उनको कॉल कर सकते हैं और बोल सकते हैं कि वो क्लास ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं। क्लास विल बी इन इंग्लिश। So, this chapter entitled Ajamila delivered by Vishnudutta. And this chapter has a total of 49 verses. And I will try to cover all the verses within the time limit without missing a single verse. So, here patiently, this chapter has been divided into 6 sections. And I'll just mention it how it is divided. Just a second. So verse from 1 to 6, the Vishnuduttas chastise the Yamadutas. Verse from 7 to 9, the Vishnuduttas glorify the holy name. Verse number 20-25, Ajamila's release and regret. Verse number 26 to 38, Ajamila's limitation and resolutions. Verse number 39 to 44, Ajamila's austerity at Haridwar, attainment of Vaikuntha. And verse from 45 to 49, Shukdeva Goswami glorifies the holy name. So the theme of this chapter is glories of the holy name, and my key verse is verse number 9 and 10. Both verses are clubbed. Both verses are together. So here I start now. The scene is like that. In the previous canto 5, after hearing about hellish planets, Parikshit Maharaj asked about the ways and means by which one can avoid going to hellish planets. So, answer to this, first Sukdev Goswami explained about Karma Kanda as atonement. Answer to this, Sukdev Goswami explained about the Karma Kanda as atonement. But Parikshit Maharaj rejected it by saying Kunjar Shochval, element belly. Element goes in the Ganges to take bath, and we take bath, he again come back, and he again lie down in a dust. So again he become muddy or become dirty. So there is no use of his bathing. So Parikshit Maharaj rejected Karma Kanda, saying that it is like a Kunjar Shochval. Then Shukdev Goswami talked about Gyan Marga. But this is also rejected by King by saying Venu Gulman Evan Laha. That means if bamboos are burned by the fire, so by the fire all bamboos are burned for temporarily. When the rain comes, then again the bamboos comes out because the roots are still there in the mud. So therefore, it is also not a proper treatment, and Parikshit Maharaj rejected it. And at the end, the Shukdev Goswami mentioned about the Bhakti Marg and the glory of holy name. And in that connection, Shukdev ji narrated a story of Ajamila that you all know. So at the time of death, sinful Ajamila saw Yamdutas, and out of great anxiety, he called the name of his son Narayana. And immediately, Vishnuduttas arrived, and they stopped Yamadutas from taking Ajamila to hell. Then a long conversation took place between Yamadutas and Vishnuduttas in the last chapter. So here we start our discussion, the original discussion. Verse from 1 to 6. Vishnuduttas chastised the Yamadutas. They said that, alas, Adharma is touching the assembly of Dharma, where unpunishable and sinless persons are being punished unnecessarily. Innocent citizens trust and follow the leader, and the leader should be impartial and not cheat them. So Yamdutas mentioning chastising Vishnuduttas, chastising Yamdutas, and they are talking about the qualification of a leader. That's what I said. In the past, Srila Prabhupada said, although Ajamila was not punishable, the Yamdutas were insisting on taking him away to Yamaraj for punishment. This was adharma, contrary to religious principle. The Vishnuduttas feared and that if such irreligious acts were allowed, the management of human society would be spoiled. So Vishnu Chakradeepa says, Vishnudutta spoke to Yamdutas, please listen. We have heard that your master is a protector who implements laws, possesses good qualities, and is equal to all. Why has this not become untrue? The leader should be a father, showing affectionate. He should be an instructor of laws to teach dharma. He should be proper in character to benefit all people. He should be equal, taking his own happiness and distress equally. The opposite is a protector who gives suffering to the people, who though a teacher does not teach dharma to his servants, who though of proper character does not act for everyone's benefit, and though equipoised is ignorant of others' suffering. This is a disaster for the public and intolerable for us. Now, verse number 5 to 6. Vishnu Chakradeepa says in his commentary, actually, he speaks about the qualification of a leader. So he says, because of the betrayal of trust, we speak of further adharma. This is expressed in two verses. Narayan Pita Manam means to the person who has completely offered himself. Why should he trust the leader? The leader should be worthy of being trusted and should be compassionate to all beings. So they are clearly talking about the qualification of a leader. And there is a link. Suppose Yamduta might say, but Ajamila has not performed atonement for his great sins. So in verse number 7 to 8, verse number 7 to 8 says that Ajamila has atoned for millions of lifetime of sins just by chanting the name of Narayana in helpless condition, Vivasha. And Vishnu Chakravarti says, Yambita says to Vishnudutta, Yambita saying, you castigate us, but what offense have we and our master committed in taking away Ajamila to purify him? Since he has performed no atonements for over 1,000 great sins. Vishnudutta replied, he has certainly performed atonement not only for the sin of one life, but for 10,000 lives, since he has chanted the name of Lord, even though it was done unconsciously. And they are quoting from Smriti. They are saying a sinful man cannot commit as many sins as can be destroyed by the power of the Lord's name. They are giving further reference from Krishna Purana, and they are saying a woman is freed from all sins when he chants the Lord's name even unconsciously. The sins flee like animals frightened of a lion. Again, they are quoting from Vishnu Purana 6.8.19. Not only does chanting the Lord's name cause atonement, but is the cause of liberation. Whoever chants the true syllabus Hari only once is fit for attaining liberation. Just see. And this is from the purport number 8. Srila Prabhupada is saying, previously, when engaged in sinful activities to maintain his family, Ajamila chanted the name of Narayana without offenses. To chant the holy name of the Lord just to contract one's sinful activities or to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name is offensive. Namno balad yashi papa buddhi. But although Ajamila engaged in sinful activities, he never chanted the holy name of Narayana to contract them. He simply chanted the name Narayana to call his son. Therefore, his chanting was effective. Because of chanting the holy name of Narayana, in this way he had already vanquished the accumulated sinful reactions of many, many lives. In the beginning, he was pure, but although he later committed many sinful acts, he was offenseless because he did not chant the holy name of Narayana to contract sin. Now, Srila Prabhupada is making a very profound statement. Please hear attentively, carefully. Srila Prabhupada is saying, one who always chants the holy name of the Lord without offenses is always pure. As confirmed in the verse Ajamila, as confirmed in this verse, Ajamila has already chanted the Lord's name without offense and is always pure. As confirmed in the verse Ajamila was already sinless And because he chanted the name of Narayana, he remained sinless. It did not matter that he is calling his son. The name itself was effective. Vishnu Chakradeepa says, Nandita are saying, they are arguing, they are saying, but Ajamila did not change with awareness that this was atonement. He called out for his son because he was afraid of us. Vishnudutta. Now they are replying to Yambutas. Vishnudutta are saying, you do not understand the truth. Being materialistic, you do not understand. Even by calling for his son, while not seeking to make atonement of the sinner, that is aguna in Sanskrit, atonement of this sinner was accomplished. Just chanting at this time for his son is the atonement for all his sins. However, previously he chanted in ungrammatical language, O Narayana, come here, from your mother's lap to my lap. The atonement took place then. Not only chanting four syllables, but chanting the Lord's name in two syllables or one syllabus also destroy all sins. Now, verse number 9 to 10. Here I'm speaking from the commentary of Sri Vishnu Chakradeepa, and he is giving very, very long and profound commentary. It will be very much beneficial if you hear attentively and try to understand it. So, this is my key verse 9 and 10. The theme is chanting the holy name is the best process of atonement. For a thief, a drunkard, a betrayer, one who indulged in the sex with the wife of his guru, one who, Brahmana, a woman, the king, his father, for cows, and for all other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, such sinful person may attract the attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who therefore consider, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give them protection. This is the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. You can understand how much is merciful to us, how much he is kind to conditioned souls. He simply say, how much is sinner? If he's chanting my name, I will protect him. It is my duty. So he's taking as his duty. And Vishnu Chakradeepa further ahead says, very important things, please hear. Chanting is the best atonement because it destroys not only the reaction of sin, but also the root of it. The name of the Lord will destroy sins. But how can Namabhas be the atonement for thousands of grave sins, which cannot be destroyed by thousands of 10 years vow? Chanting is the best atonement since it destroys the root of sin. A 12-year vow of atonement, though it destroy the effects of sin, cannot destroy the sin, cannot destroy the root of sin. The other result is that after chanting the Lord's mind dwells on that person. That is not the only result, because from chanting the name of the Lord's mind dwells on that person who chants. The Lord thinks the person belongs to me. I will always protect him. This is Sridhar Swami meaning of the phrase. If Ajamila's chanting produced such an effect, what would happen if one chants with the proper attitude? Hearing his name being chanted and remembering Ajamila, the Lord ordered us to bring Ajamila, who was chanting his name. Then how much more the Lord will remember a person who chants the Lord's name with a service attitude. This is the implication. Now hear carefully. The very first time Ajamila called his son Narayana, all his past and future sins were destroyed, and the rest of the chanting produced bhakti. Actually, from the first time that Ajamila called his son Narayana, out of all the times he called, all his sins had been destroyed. The rest of the chanting after that produced bhakti. Uh, in verse 7 also indicate that from the first time he chanted the name, all sin had been destroyed. The word Vivashav in that verse means spontaneously out of affection for his child. Proof that the first chanting destroyed all the sins in past and future, and following chanting produced bhakti. But after chanting repeatedly, there were repeated sins such as going to the prostitute and drinking wine. In, in, other to, in order to destroy those sins, he had to chant at the end of his life. Since there was again appearance of sin, this cannot be said. This cannot be said because it will be said later. Vaikuntha namo grahanam achanaga haram. Chanting the Lord's name destroy unlimited sins. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.14. The following verses also show that chanting releases one from the bondage of samsara. All sins in the present, past, and future are quickly destroyed by the chanting the name of Govinda, which is like fire. Now, his Krishna Chakratipas quoting from Hari Bhakti Vilas 11.339. By hearing one of your names once, when the outcast is delivered from the material world. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.16.44 says, such power is not surprising from person who have conquered the six senses by the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord. Since even an outcast becomes immediately free of bondage of karma by chanting the Lord's name even once. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, verse number 35 says, because there is no mention of a particular time span for the effect to occur, it should be understood that first time chanting there is a destruction of all sins, all desires as well. Ignorance, which is the root cause, because only then sin will not reappear in the future. Why did not the sin leave him then itself? Somebody may ask the question. So Vishnu Chakradeva is giving the answer because he's giving two answers. He's saying they were just in the form of impressions like the bites of toothless snake. Number second, Lord wanted to prevent other philosophies from becoming uprooted. Question: Why then did sin not leave Ajamila after chanting the first time? How could he continue to be attached to the woman and commit sin for so long if all sins had been destroyed? Answer: like the karmas of the Jivan Mukta, which remain for some time simply as impression. Ajamila's sin, which lasted till his death, were like the bites of a tooth like snakes and did not generate results. Moreover, the Lord Himself will cause continence of sin in order that the other philosophies, like Karmakanda, etc., other philosophies will not be completely uprooted. The glory of the holy name is not an exaggeration. Please hear very attentively, very important point, which many of the ISKCON devotees does not notice, which Vishnu Chakradeva is saying. The glory of the holy name is not exaggeration. The great sinner can be delivered, but not the great scholars who consider the glories of the holy name as an exaggeration. If one were to explain the scriptural statements concerning the powers of the name to be exaggerated praise of the Lord's name, then one would be committing offense. It is an offense to interact the name or think its power or exaggeration. Six offense, which is mentioned in Padma Purana, that all you know, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. And very few devotees knows what it means by interpretation. He's clarifying here, Vishnu Chakradeva. Amazing. And he further saying, one who takes shelter of the name at any time cross material life by the name. One falls to hell from offense to the name of the Lord, the friend of all beings. Just see the severity of offense. Padma Purana says, those most sinful of men who interpret the name of the Lord fall to hell. This from Katyani Samhita is quoting, and again is quoting from Padma Purana, is saying that person who even after hearing about the wonderful results of chanting the Lord's name refuses to develop sincere faith in the name, and on the contrary interprets the name is hurled by me into the deep gloom of material science after being dragged through excruciating suffering. Just see the consequences. Simply one who thinks the glories of the name is exaggeration. And again, uh, he's saying, Lord's uh, person who interpret the Shrutis, Smritis, and Puranas, which wonderfully glorify the Lord's name, stay in hell forever. This is from the Purana. And now, Jimini Sahita is saying, thus from scriptures like Padma Purana, Katyani Samhita, there are thousands of statements showing fall down from interpreting the name. One should especially avoid offending the devotees and committing sin on the strength of chanting. Among the 10 offenses, the very strong effects of interpreting the name, thinking its glories are exaggeration, and equating it to pious acts are obstacle to being a Vaishnava. Among the other offenses, two are very strong: offending the devotees and committing sin on the strength of the chanting. Those are particularly described in a frightening way. So you can understand Krishna Chakadipa is mainly quoting the uh, before chanting the holy name, you chant the uh, 10th Namaparad. So there are sixth and seventh offense. He's saying that they are more serious, more severe. So we should be very much careful about it. And further he says, uh, Ajamila, a sinner by the strength of Namabhasa attained Vaikuntha. No. Yes. Now, verse number 11. By following the rituals or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting the holy name of the Lord Hari, even once or just partially. Nama Padhe. Such chanting reminds one of the Lord's name, fame, qualities, pastime, paraphernalia. Now, Srila Prabhupada purport. To chant the holy name and dance and ecstasy is so easy and sublime that one can achieve all the benefits of spiritual life simply by following the process. This again here, here attentively, what Srila Prabhupada is saying, I repeat. He's saying to chant the holy name and dance and ecstasy is so easy and sublime that one can achieve all the benefits of spiritual life simply by following the process. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declares Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Shri Krishna Sankirtana. The Sankirtan movement we have started offers the best process for becoming purified of all sinful reaction and coming immediately to the platform of spiritual life. Vishnu Chakatipas is saying, the name should be chanted, but the mind may be attentive or not. He may be sinful without even following karma or other scriptural process. Not only does the name uproot sin completely, one realizes the Lord's quality, beauty, powers, and sweetness. So just see, we are not worried about attentiveness. When we chant, we have so many complaints. Prabhuji, your mind is not attentive. We are not able to hear this and that. But what Vishnu Chakradeep is saying, chanting is important whether you are attentive or not. If you are even chanting, forget about the destroy of the sin, even one will in one's heart the glories of the Lord, Lord's name, form, powers, beauty, all will reveal. You know, it says in Hindi, Hari se bada, Hari ka naam. Verse number 12. Even after atonement, one's mind again runs towards material activities. Therefore, for one who wants liberation, the glorification of the Lord is recommended. It actually purifies one's existence. Purport. It is the special mercy of the Supreme Lord that as soon as he knows that one is glorifying his name, fame, and attributes, he personally helps release the dirt from one's heart. Therefore, simply by such glorification, one not only becomes purified but also achieve the results of pious activities. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Punya Shavanam Kirtana 1.2.70. Punya Shavan Kirtana refers to the process of devotional service. Therefore, everyone who desires the ultimate cleansing of his heart must adopt this process. Other processes such as karma, jnana, and yoga cannot cleanse the heart absolutely. Now, from the Tika of Vishnuduttas. But how can grave sins which are destroyed only by the great austerity and vows be destroyed by casual chanting of the name? The name indicates the power of the Lord, having great fame. The name removes great sin because it is the name of most powerful Supreme Lord. Thus, see, it's really amazing, huh? Verse number 30. Therefore, do not try to take Ajamil. Vishnuduttas, after giving so many clarification to Yamduta, or they are warning. Vishnuduttas are warning to Yamdutas. What they are saying? Therefore, do not try to take Ajamil. He has chanted the holy name of the Lord at the time of death and is free from all reactions. VCT says, Vishuddhas are saying, do not take Ajamil. He has done unlimited atonements. This means the time of naming his son Narayana from his first chanting, he accomplished all atonements. This was also done without any offense to the name, either previously or in this life. Because he was sinless, while dying, he chanted the name. If he had sins, how could he chant the name while dying? Just see, they are giving logic, such a sound logic. Verse number 14. Vinashakadipas is saying, a person who chants the holy name, here, this is very important, please hear very attentively. A person who chants the holy name while indicating, that means Sankirtan, while indicating someone else, or Parihasyam, or while joking, Ustabham, for musical instrument or Helenam, out of neglect or say while chanting, he is not unconscious. What is the result? He is telling. Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam, chanting the holy name of the Lord, destroys one's unlimited sins and desire. An advanced transcendentalist knows this. So even when chanting jokingly, unconsciously, just see the results. DCT further says a very interesting point that anyone who fails to immediately leave the place where he hears criticism of the Supreme Lord or his faithful devotees will certainly fall down. Prophet of his pious credit. This is and is giving reference from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.74.40. Oh, this was like Nindam Bhagavata Smaranam. This is all Shishupala episode, that you all must be knowing. He's giving a reference from that. Verse number 15. A person who chants the names of the Lord while traveling on the road, being beaten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, will not suffer hellish planets. This is Krishna Chakradepa. Purport. Srila Prabhupada is saying in his purport that if one practices chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, is naturally expected to chant Hare Krishna when he meets with some accident. Even without such practice, however, if one somehow or other chants the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, when he meets with an accident and dies, he will be saved from hellish life after that. This is Srila Prabhupada. And next verse from Ditika, from the commentary of Krishna Chakradepa, saying, because atonements have limited power, therefore such methods are prescribed. However, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra vanquishes all the effects of sinful activities, regardless of whether heavy or light. Since it has inconceivably great power, it is as easy as Balrama's ability to destroy all Kauravas, including Duryodhana, in order to save Samba. Vishnu Chakradeepa is quoting the pastime of Balrama. What is this pastime? Srila Prabhupada is saying this purport that in this regard, Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur described an incident that took place when Samba was rescued from the punishment of the Kauravas. Samba fell in love with the daughter of Duryodhana. And since according to Kshatriya custom, one is not offered a Kshatriya's daughter unless he displays his chivalrous valor, Samba abdicated her. Consequently, Samba was arrested by the Kauravas. Later, when Lord Balaram came to rescue him, there was an argument about Samba's release. Since the argument was not settled, Balarama showed his power in such a way that all of Hastinapur trembled and would have been vanquished as if by a great earthquake. Then the matter was settled, and Samba married Duryodhana's daughter. The purpose is that one should take shelter of Krishna, Balarama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose protective power is so great that it cannot be accolade in the material world. However powerful the reactions of one's sins, they will immediately be vanquished if one chants the name of Hari, Krishna, Balarama, or Narayana. Amazing. I repeat again here attentively. However powerful the reactions of the one's sin, they will immediately be vanquished if one chants the name of Hari, Krishna, Balarama, or Narayana. Next verse, that is verse number 17. Bhakti destroy even the root of sin, namely desire. Purport. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42, Bhakti Parashanubhava Virakti Anyatra Cha. Devotional service is so powerful that one who performs devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful desires. This is our founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Now, verse number 18 and 19. Two analogies are shown to show that the power of holy name. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42, Bhakti Pareshanu Bhava Virakti Anyatracha. Devotional service is so powerful that one who performs devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful desires and works, either chanted knowingly or unknowingly. So the two analogies are given. One, as a fire burns dry grass, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all sinful reactions. Analogy number second, just as powerful medicine acts, even when taken without knowledge of its powers, the chanting of the Lord's holy name is also effective whether done knowingly or unknowingly. Interesting, very interesting. Now, from the commentary of Vishnu Chakravarti, he is saying, not only does the name destroy sin, but it bestows prema for the Lord. Just, I repeat again, here attentively, Vishnu Chakravarti is saying, not only does the name destroy sin, but it destroys the prema for the Lord. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of hippies turning into pure Vaishnava. We all know what Prabhupada did, how he turned hippie into such a pure Vaishnava simply by allowing them to chant the holy name. Now, next verse number 20. Having thus perfectly judged the principle of devotional service, Dharmam Bhagavatam, the Vishnuduttas released Ajamila from the bondage of Vishnuduttas and saved from the imminent death. Just, it has never happened in the history that anyone who can be released from the judge of Vishnuduttas. Vishnuduttas released from the Ajamila. First time it happened in the history. Verse number 21. The Yamdutas informed Yamaraj of everything that happened. 22nd. Ajamila came back to his senses, free from fear, and he offered obeisance to Vishnuduttas from the purport. Vaishnavas are also Vishnuduttas because they carry out the order of Krishna. Lord Krishna is very eager for all the conditioned souls rotting in this material world to surrender to Him and be saved from the material pains in this life and punishment in hellish conditions after death. Verse number 23. Now soon I'll be finishing, just have patience. Verse number 23. The Vishnuduttas made Ajamil aware of devotional service so that he might immediately become fit to return home back to Godhead. To increase his eagerness to glorify the Lord, they disappeared so that he would feel separation in their absence. In the mode of separation, glorification of the Lord is very intense. Verse number 24. After hearing the discourse between Yamdutas and Vishnuduttas, Ajamil understood two principles. Principle number one, the dharma of Trivedas that acts under the modes. Oh, that you know from Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Trigun Vishya Veda, Nistrigunno Bhavajano, Nirdando Nisvasto, Niryogachem Atvan, 2.45, Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says in the purport that generally one follows dharma to get some material gain, but those who are interested in devotional life, service to Krishna, they follow parodharma. What is parodharma? Bhakti, a devotional service that we all are trying to practice. And principle number second, transcendental dharma, which is pure. Dharmam Bhagavatam Shuddham. Verse number 25. After hearing the glory of the name, Ajamila began to repent. Now is realizing. Srila Prabhupada saying in the purport, even though he was fallen, he was inspired to name his son Narayana. Certainly, this was due to good counsel given from the within the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada is clearly making a point here that Ajamila gave the name of his son Narayana not by on the instruction of someone or instruction of his guru. Narayana, Ajamila had no guru. How he kept the name of his son Narayana? Lord inspired him from within. This is Srila Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada wrote a very interesting fact. Please hear very carefully, it's a very interesting thing. He says that in our Krishna conscious movement, we therefore change a devotee's name to a form that reminds him of a Vishnu. If at that time of death, the devotee can remember his own name, such as Krishnadasa or Govindasa, he can be saved from the greatest danger. Therefore, the change of name at the time of initiation is essential. The Krishna consciousness movement is so meticulous that it gives one a good opportunity to remember Krishna somehow or other. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now I'll finish very quickly. Verse number 26. Alas, what I did. Now Ajamila is lamenting. Alas, what I did. I became a servant of my senses, and because of that I fell down from my position. As duly qualified Brahmana and beget children in the womb of a prostitute. 27. All condemnation upon me. I give up my chaste wife and young wife just to enjoy prostitute, accustomed to drinking wine. Verse number 28. I gave up my old parents who had no son other than me to look after them. 29. I should be thrown into a well. 30. Was this a dream I saw, or was it reality? 31. Where have the Vishnuduttas gone? He was thinking. Now verse number 30 to 33. Because of some previous spiritual activities, I was able to see those exalted personalities who saved me. Is their mercy that now I will be able to change the name of Vaikuntapati. Now there is a teaching is here, very important teaching. Please hear attentively. Now very 5 minutes they are going to end because only very few verses are left. 4, 5, 6 verses. That's all. Teaching is only by the causeless mercy of a Mahabhagavata devotee one can get bhakti. Without the seed of bhakti cannot be sown. I repeat again. Only by the causeless mercy of a Mahabhagavata devotee one can get mercy. Without that, the seed of bhakti cannot be sown. Verse number 34. What am I? A cheater, a sinner, and a shameless killer of a Brahminical culture. In comparison to all auspicious chanting of the holy names of the Lord Narayana. So he's doing a comparison between his sinful activities and the glories of the holy name. Verse number 35. Now I will endeavor to control my senses, mind, and life. So now Ajamila become determined to chant the holy name. 36 and 37. Now I shall disentangle myself from mortal bondage by giving up lusty desires and absorb my mind in Krishna consciousness. 38. Now I shall not fall victim again to false illusion of material senses gratification and will give false conception of I and my. 39. Ajamila went to Haridwar. 40 to 41. There he performed Bhakti Yoga. 42. There he again saw Vishnuduttas and offered his obeisances by bowing down before them. 43. Upon seeing them, he gave up his body and regained his original spiritual body, Swarupa. You know, the body of a Parshada. 44. Went to Vaikuntha in a Vimana. Now 45 to 49, Shukdev Goswami glorifies the holy name. In verse 45, he says that although Ajamila was so sinful, still he was immediately rescued by merely a glimpse of the chanting of the holy name of Narayana. Sadhu Vimukto Bhagavan Granam. Verse number 46. Those who want liberation, the best process is chanting of the holy name. Now 47 and 48 is a Falashruti. So first Falashruti is no longer doomed the hellish planet. Anyone, that means anyone who chants the holy name even once in his life, even jokingly or unconsciously, he cannot go to hellish planet. That is the greatest mercy of the holy name. Second Falashruti, not approached by the Yamaduttas. Buddha cannot come to catch him, to see him. Third Falashruti, respectfully received and worshipped in Vishnu Loka. Verse number 49, which is the last verse of the whole of this chapter. Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord, directed towards sun. Still he went to Vaikuntha and became an eternal associate of the Lord. What to speak of those who chant offenselessly and faithfully? Why will not go to Godhead? There is the doubt. So now the chapter is over. So now the conclusion. The conclusion of my talk is I am giving 2 points. Please hear attentively. 1. Ajamila got freedom from all his sinful acts, including past and future, not by simply chanting the holy name, but because of his offenseless chanting, not only became free from all his sins, but got liberation and went to Vaikuntha. It is not that he became sinless when he chanted the name of his son Narayana at the time of his death, which is the common understanding. But our Acharyas clarify that he became sinless from all his sins, including past and future, when the first time he chanted the name of his son at the name giving ceremony. You know, it is called Namkaran Sanskara. Otherwise, how could he chant the offenseless name Narayana of his son, and why Vishnuduttas had appeared to save him? So now, before I end, I want to ask a question from all of you. Please hear the question again and answer in the chatting box. My question is that Ajamila became sinless simply by chanting one word Narayana, correct? But here we are chanting such a big Maha Mantra from so many years, still we are suffering. In fact, the more we are chanting, the more we are suffering. Why? Where is the problem? Where is the pinprick? Can anybody would like to answer in the chat box? If you not understood my question and you want me to repeat, write in a chat box, and repeat the question again if you didn't understand. Nobody want to answer? Utkarsha, would you like to answer? Okay. So I will answer. आंसर इज क्योंकि प्रभु जी जब तक हमारी आत्मा का शुद्धिकरण नहीं होता तब तक करते रहना चाहिए. ओके. वन आंसर इज ईगरनेस. ओके. तो मेरा प्रश्न ये था कि अजामिला ने अपने जीवन में केवल एक बार हरि नाम का जाप किया और वो उसके सारे पाप पास्ट के भी और फ्यूचर में जितने पाप वो करने वाला है वो सब का फल उसको नहीं आएगा. मतलब पूरे पाप से फ्री हो गया. और वो फ्री ही नहीं हुआ बल्कि उसे विष्णुदूतों का दर्शन हुआ, उसकी जान भी बच गई और वो वैकुंठ लोक चला गया. एक बार नाम लिया उसने, वो भी अपने बच्चे का नाम लिया. वो नारायण को नहीं पुकार रहा था. ऐसा क्यों? हम लोग तो इतने सालों से हरि नाम का जाप कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे साथ हमारे ये तो कष्ट उल्टा बढ़ ही रहे हैं, कम तो छोड़ दीजिए. ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? I'll give the answer. So of course one reason is Vaishnava aparadha. That all you know. When we chant the holy name, there are 10 offenses. So we have to be very cautious of that offenses. Offenses are the only obstacle in the life of a devotee. A devotee is always fearful from the offenses. He never fearful of the sins. Never. भक्त अपराध से डरता है. तो 10 नाम अपराध होते हैं, उससे बचना है. वही हमारी भक्ति में बाधा है. इसलिए हमारा उतना समय लग रहा है, हमारा कल्याण नहीं हो रहा है. And even one may stop the sin of this life, but what about the offense of past life? Example is Jadbharata. Jiva Goswami says Jadbharata, he was telling the cause of the fall of Jadbharata is offense. Offense of not the current life, offense of his past life. That become an obstacle in the path of his self-realization. And another angle is given by Vishnuduttas from the commentary of 10.88.8. I'll just read it. Please hear carefully. कृष्ण मैम्स राइटिंग, क्योंकि भगवान उसको दुख देते हैं जिसे अपना मानते हैं. वेरी गुड. जिन्होंने लिखा बहुत अच्छा लिखा. ये मैं आपको प्रमाण दे रहा हूँ. यहाँ पर विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती पाद बोल रहे हैं, सफरिंग ऑफ ए डिवोटी is not because of his prarabdha karma, but because of loving reciprocation of the Lord to purify him or to glorify him. But it is not because of his prarabdha karma, and that includes neophyte also. It's clearly, I was thinking of Vishnu Chakradepa is talking about the advanced devotees, but no, he's writing it is including neophyte. Anyone a neophyte like me, like you, who's chanting, just begin to chant the holy name, he will get this benefit, this reciprocation from the Lord. And a person, how many great sins he committed, but as soon as he starts chanting Hare Krishna, Lord feels obliged to that person and commit to himself that now I will protect him. This is references 6.29.9 and 10th verse is this. You know, Yasanaham. There is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 10 canto. Yasaham anugrahami cha harishya tadhan shane shane. We all want anugrah of the Lord. We all want mercy of the Lord. Now there is mercy, a general mercy is given to everyone, including us. Special mercy, how the Lord gives, it is mentioned. Whomever Lord loves him, what he does, harishya tadhan. He take away his wealth. He always take away. And when the Lord takes the wealth away, what happens? All his so-called relatives, friends, family member leaves him, and he become alone, and he suffers. Then again try to go to them, make a friendship with them, but they don't accept him because now he's become a poor. And then out of frustration, this devotee go to where? He goes to the association of devotee. He go to a benefited sadhu. And then Lord shower his mercy. So this is the Lord's love. When suffering comes in life of a devotee, it is a love of the Lord for that particular devotee. So we should have that much faith. And VCT give another angle also. He says the suffering protects the confidentiality of bhakti, prevents the disruption of the beliefs of the various categories of outsiders, and increases the eagerness with which the devotee call upon the Lord to appear. Devotees are happy all the time. The Lord has no reason to appear. Correct? Amazing. Thank you so much for hearing me, tolerating me for such a long time, almost 1 hour. So I'm going to stop here. If anyone want to ask any question or anyone want to write any comment, you can write in chat box. I'll try to address it. If not, then I'll end the session. थैंक यू वेरी मच। आप सबका प्रवचन को धैर्यपूर्वक सुनने का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपके सहयोग के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच। आई एम इंडीड ग्रेटफुल फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू टू जॉइन दिस सेशन। आशा करता हूँ कि आप लोगों को इससे काफ़ी कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा और अजामिल पास टाइम के कुछ रहस्यमय तथ्य जो लोगों को पता नहीं है वो भी सुलझ गए। लेकिन सार्थक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि अजामिल ने जब अंतकाल में अपने पुत्र नारायण को बुलाया, उसने नारायण का नाम जप किया, तो विष्णुदूता आए, उन्हें यमदूतों से बचाया, उसके पाप कर्मों से मुक्त करवाया, फिर अजामिला ने भक्ति करके भगवत धाम गए। ये सही नहीं है। सच बात विष्णुचरित्र बात बताते हैं कि अजामिला ने जब पहली बार अपने बच्चे का नाम रखा था नारायण, जब उसने पहली बार नाम पुकारा उसी टाइम उसके सारे पाप खत्म हो गए थे। और इतना ही नहीं, उसके बाद उसने बहुत सारे पाप किए, फिर से वेश्या के पास जा रहा है, शराब पी रहा है इत्यादि, और उन पापों को से कोई भी फल नहीं आया क्योंकि उसने भगवान का नाम बिना अपराध के लिया था। तो ये पाप है बिना अपराध के भगवान का नाम जप करने का, इसे बोलते हैं नामाभास। ये सारे पाप खत्म हो जाते हैं, पास तक के भी और फ्यूचर के भी जो पाप व्यक्ति हम करने वाले हैं उसका भी रिएक्शन नहीं आता है। इतना ही नहीं, भगवान का रूप गुण लीला हृदय में स्फुरित हो जाती है। ये हरि नाम की महिमा है। आप लोग कृपया हरि नाम का जाप करते रहिए। थैंक यू सो मच। मैं सेशन को एंड करता हूँ। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर द कमेंट ऑफ कविता माता जी एंड राम गोपाल जी। मित्रुपा जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद। हरे कृष्णा।